Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share a Reddit post from a user called Pickled Fish. So let's dive in. Hi, my name is Amelia. I'm 36 years old and currently living in Canada. My mom, who I'll call Linda, lives 3 hours away. She moved there when she retired 5 years ago, and I visit her every other month or so. Now, Linda has always been incredibly controlling. For example, she'd come over to my place and critique how I cooked and how I do things. But whenever I would visit her place, I had to do things her way, which was often more difficult and inconvenient for me, since she would have a lot of rules. For example, I wasn't allowed to eat whatever I brought with me. And if I didn't like what she cooked, too bad for me. I had to eat it. I could only watch TV shows she liked, not mine. And I wasn't allowed to play music in her house, because it was noisy and annoying. If I wanted to watch a movie, I had to choose hers. She also insisted that I show her my phone and social media accounts and knew all of my passwords. If I forgot to tell her I was staying somewhere else overnight, she would call my place to check up on me, and she would always criticize me for not doing things her way. For example, she'd say things like, "If my grandmother raised you any better, you wouldn't be this useless." I would always brush it off though, because she always acted apologetic after she saw that I was upset. Well, last March, I got COVID day before visiting her. I was very sick, so I decided to cancel my trip and visit her the following month instead. She threw a fit, kept calling me a bad person, saying I was purposefully canceling my trips to see her. etc. This continued until I visited her a month later. However, once I arrived, she was distant and rude to me and claimed that I spread germs and COVID. Every time I asked her what was wrong, she would evade the question, get angry, and go silent. Then one evening, I was eating dinner in silence when I heard her voice coming from her computer speaker. She was FaceTiming my cousin. As soon as she saw me, she whispered, "Don't say anything," and proceeded to gossip about me to my cousin. I was shocked, upset, and confused. Why was she speaking to me like this? How come she was being friendly to my cousin, but not to me? I asked her about it, but she just became hostile and told me to shut up. Of course, I was furious. And for the first time, I stood up to her and defended myself. I explained that I had every right to be upset, and that she had no right to treat me that way. Well, she took the opportunity to turn the tables on me. She said that I was acting like an entitled teenager and complained that I was ungrateful. She said that she sacrificed a lot for me, and I should be thankful, blah blah blah. She also said that I was a selfish individual who didn't care about others. I argued back, but she just kept repeating the same points. And at a certain point, I felt exhausted and simply left. The next day, I went for a walk outside. In hindsight, I shouldn't have left the house alone, because she began calling and texting me nonstop. I could unlisten to those messages because she would keep repeating that. I was a bad person for leaving without telling her where I was going. Well, at some point, I heard a knock on the door. I opened it and it was my cousin. She told me that my mom was worried sick about me and begged me to go home. So I did. When I entered the house, I realized that she wasn't asking me to come back to apologize to me, but rather to punish me for disobeying her. But that was the point. She always took my side when we fought, and now she was on her team. I confronted her about it, but she just told me to get lost and stopped speaking to me. I stayed there for a few more days, and every time I interacted with her, she treated me like garbage. One day, I picked up her phone and noticed that she had blocked my number. On top of that, she had been blocking my number from her computer as well. She had also blocked me on Facebook. At that point, I knew that I could no longer stay there. So, I called my friend and told her to pick me up. My mom erupted in anger, yelling about how disrespectful I was, screaming curse words. I'd say she kept calling me on my new phone, but I ignored her calls. I remember feeling a mixture of fear sadness, and frustration. I couldn't believe that she would treat me that way. Well, fast forward to last week. Last Tuesday, I received a call from my friend informing me that my mom had passed away. Apparently, she experienced a heart attack. I was deeply saddened. Despite how terrible she was sometimes, she was still my mom. I immediately called my sister to express my condolences. Then I asked her if she could send me photos of my mom. However, when I opened those photos, I noticed that they were from my mom's funeral. Confused, I called my sister to ask her why she sent me funeral photos, but she responded by saying that my mom had died. I was shocked because she died less than a week ago, yet they had already buried her. I tried calling her back, but she ignored me. I later found out that she had been hiding my mom's death from me, so I would hurry up and visit her. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the funeral, but I did attend the wake yesterday. I barely recognized the woman in the coffin. She's pale, gray, and cold. I miss my mom and I hate her. At the same time, she was both amazing and terrible, loving and hateful. I don't understand why she changed so much, but I'm glad that she's at peace. So that was the story. Mom Up was a Reddit user who struggled to cope with her mother's inconsistent and harsh treatment. Despite moments of kindness, the relationship remained strained due to the mother's critical and controlling nature. After a series of frustrating experiences, the OP learned to assert herself against her mother's mistreatment. The story explores themes of family dynamics, emotional manipulation, and the complexities of parent-child relationships. Readers empathized with the OP's struggle to navigate her mother's mixed signals and invalidating behavior. Many praised the OP for setting boundaries and prioritizing her emotional well-being despite the emotional toll of the situation. The story sparked a broader discussion about the challenges of maintaining healthy relationships with difficult family members and the importance of self-care and assertiveness in such situations. Ultimately, the story serves as a reminder that familial relationships can be complicated and that setting boundaries with toxic individuals is crucial for maintaining mental well-being. So let's jump into the comments and see what people had to say. First comment from Wow, I'm sorry you had to deal with that growing up. I'm also sorry that you lost your mom so suddenly and unexpectedly. It must be hard to grieve when there are so many negative feelings. But please know that you're not a bad person. You didn't cause this. She wasn't a good person, but she was a person. And unfortunately, people can die suddenly, even good ones. I'm sorry you lost your mom. Next comment from Leave It to Beaver. Your mom sounded like an incredibly toxic and manipulative person. And I'm sorry you had to experience that growing up. I'm sorry that she passed so suddenly and unexpectedly. While it sounds like you have unresolved issues with your mother, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive her, if only for yourself. Next comment from Mr. Macaw. So sorry for your loss. It sounds like you had a tough relationship with your mom. But that doesn't change the fact that losing a parent is hard, regardless of their quality as a person. And lastly, a comment from Hanselo. Please know that you are not responsible for your mother's actions. She was abusive, and you were right to escape that toxicity. She is not at peace. Peace is a state of being that she didn't allow you or anyone around her to access. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. So yeah, I have to agree with these comments. Sorry for your loss. It sounds like your mother was an incredibly toxic person, and I am sorry that you had to deal with that growing up. I think you did the right thing by distancing yourself from her. That was Reddit Storytime. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new videos every single day.